Veta discusses her wildlife home garden with the project team.
So we're here at wildlife home number 10. That's Veta Nichols' home on Lawyers Mountain. I'm Mike Piankowski of the UK Overseas Charities Conservation Forum. I'm one of the leaders of the Adopt a Home for Wildlife project. Veta Nichols is with me, as are Adopt a Home project officers Elvis Gerard, who also is an officer of the Department of Agriculture, and Antoine Sinclair, who is an intern at the Montserrat National Trust. So good morning, Veta.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for becoming a adopter and for letting us visit your site.
Yeah.
Could you describe your site for us?
Well, as you can see, it's a nice wildlife area, and I've named it Serenity. So hence the color, the greenery and so on. And it's not fully set up, but it should be set up as a sanctuary for wildlife and also where I can get really lovely food.
We heard you refer to it as a moon garden. Can you tell us about that?
Oh yes, that's not ready yet. I would like to actually set up this moon garden, which basically is a area with white flowers. So on a night like last night, you would actually see those beautiful white colors shimmering in the moonlight.
Oh, what a good idea.
Yeah.
And how has the project been helping you?
Well, I've learned different species of plants and insects, what are invasive and how to manage them. I'm not sure if I'm doing a good job so far, but yes. But the tips and so on have been very helpful.
Great. And perhaps I can ask Elvis and Antoine to chip in as you like about. So what have you been doing here so far with to help Veta?
So far here at Veta, we have been conducting vegetation surveys and insect surveys. So we go around and we identify the different plant species that you have on our plot, whether they're native, introduced, what is they call it again. Well, invasive species, and how you manage those invasive species and stuff like that. Like I said, depends on the invasive species. Some of them have health benefits, right? So we're not recommending that Veta go around getting rid of all of our invasive species, okay? Because some of them are very medicinal as well, all right? She's very interested in fruit trees. Again, some of the fruit trees are invasive, but again, we not encourage her to cut down her mango tree and her guava tree, all right? Just manage your plants, basically. Right? Keep them under control. Right? These plants are going to throw plenty of suckers and stuff like that. You take out the suckers, keep one plant, keep it well pruned, and stuff like that, and enjoy your fruit as well. Right? These fruit trees are also throwing some beautiful flowers that attract the wildlife. Right? So they're very helpful. Right? In this area too, Veta have a lot of insects. Right? As we just see the assassin bug. Right? This bug now eat the harmful insects that will affect our vegetables and our fruit trees. Right? She also have a lot of lady beetles, right? And damsel flies. All these help control the bad insects. Right? And again, if we have any problem with any bad insects, we tell her use the organic stuff first, right? Along with the biological insects. Right? Chemical option is the last option. You don't want to go down that road. Because once you start spraying chemicals, you're going to kill up both your beneficial insects, your bees, your wasps, and different stuff. And then the bad ones will just take over. Right?
So, the one I didn't introduce is the voice behind the camera, who might be asking some questions in a moment. That's Anne Piankowski, who is the director and producer of this series of videos.
So thank you for letting us come and see your site. You said it's a work in progress. Well, that's what you expect in a garden, isn't it?
Yes,
A garden
yes.
is always a work in progress.
Yes.
Would you like to tell us something about the fruit trees that you're particularly interested in growing?
Okay, well, initially when I purchased the land, I had these ideas of having exotic fruits. Yeah. And you know, things that are not native to Montserrat. I haven't been able to supply those as yet, but what I have so far on the land, I have bananas, I have gooseberry, I have papayas, and pomegranate, yes, tangerine, limes, and pineapples, and variety of other fruits. There are some that still need to be planted out. Oh, golden apple and plantain. Yes, and then I have vegetables such as eggplant. Basil's considered vegetable, right? Yeah, well, more herb, a herb. Right, I have various herbs such as the oregano, the French thyme, and things like that. Oh, and the dragon fruit, still to be put in the ground, but yeah, I have quite a few things. Soursop and strawberry. Yes, got those from the tree planting day the other day. So yeah.
And of course, the lime trees are a famous part of the tradition of Montserrat, aren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
It used to be supplied to the British Navy to stop
Oh,
getting
right,
scurvy.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's why the Americans call the English limeys,
Okay.
because the Americans hadn't discovered that benefit yet. So,
Okay, okay.
so and I remember when I was a kid that one of the fruit juices you get in the shops was pure lime juice, which was
okay, okay.
from Montserrat. So,
Yeah.
Yes, Rosie's lime juice.
yes, yeah.
Rosie's lime marmalade.
Yeah, my limes have been struggling. I had them in the ground since, well, one of them since 2019, but I'm not sure the soil is the best in that location. So I might have to transfer it to another location to
Yeah.
see if that helps it. But
I mean,
yes.
you do have a very challenging site here on a steep slope.
Yes.
So how are you able to cope with that?
Well, I get annoyed. Yeah, but for the most part, I try to plant in areas where, you know, it's accessible, like just here. And there's a flat area just on our right here. So I have quite a few things planted there. And I also have some to the back of the house where I was able to plant on a good slope.
So looking back to Elvis again, from your viewpoint as the project officer covering several sites, and as your fellows are, what's particularly special about this one to add to the suite of sites at Wildlife Homes?
Not only because of the steepness and the challenge, you know what I mean, but this site, this location, right? Just behind the house there, you have some plants that attract a lot of butterflies. Right? During the summertime, it was just buzzing with all different species of butterflies, right? And because it's kind of in the rainforest as well, this area do get a lot of rain, right? The soil is pretty much poor, but we're gonna have to find ways around that, right? So when we plant in, we're gonna make sure to try to take out most of the stones them, put in good compost, and give the plants a very good start, right? And for this site also, it kind of hold water, you know what I mean? So when any heavy rain, it's run off, which is very good, you know what I mean? So we don't have no kind of flooding or any kind of disease, root rot and stuff like that. You know, it's well drained. Right.
And it's right beside the forest as well. Isn't it?
Exactly. So the Oreo, Montserrat national bird, is right there.
And the situation with the soil is mainly because it's a new site, and the topsoil was basically
Gone.
put on a different location that I can't recall where it was taken, and then what's here is basically what came out from when they were digging for the soak. So that's why it's so poor right now. Yeah. So I'm utilizing it for the cactuses.
Yep.
So I'm
The
hoping,
pineapple, different
yeah,
stuff.
and the pineapples to see if those with the shallow roots can.
Well, progressively build up the quality of the
Yeah.
soil. Yes.